Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. In today's electric guitar lesson, I'm going to teach you two of the riffs out of Enter Sandman by Metallica. This was requested in the school's Facebook community, and at time of recording is part of our Riffmas series, so I'm running a competition over on the school's Facebook group, where we're giving away a couple of prizes, including this carbon fibre guitar, and a couple of TC electronic pedals. If you want to enter or you want some more information about the competition, head to the first link in the description. There's also a free PDF that you can download from my website from the second link of the description. No sign-ups, no sort of, don't have to give me your email address, no monkey business. Head to the second link in the description and that'll take you to the web page and you can just click on download PDF. It's as easy as that. Right, so this one's a little bit longer today, so strap in because I couldn't decide which one to give you. I couldn't decide whether to do, which is the first one, or so I couldn't decide which one to do, so we're going to do both. So that means that there's going to be two lots of tones. At the back end of the video, I'll show you my settings for the Boss Katana and how you can get sort of rough settings for both of them. So let's have a look at the dreamy kind of intro bit. This is the first bit that we're up against. It sounds like this. So what we're up against here is like this recurring riff, but we come back to some bass notes here and there. So let's split this up into chunks. So what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to think of the first three notes of this phrase as the first chunk. Okay, I'm going to play this E note on the 7th fret of the A string. I'm going to play that with my ring finger while simultaneously pressing the 5th fret of the D string underneath it. It's like an upside down power chord. Now, I know a couple of you on the Facebook group have been struggling with stretches recently. If you are struggling with the stretch, feel free to just press them as you need them, but personally how I'm playing it, I have both of them anchored down at the same time. And what I'm going to do, see my plectrum, I'm going to play down, down, up. And can you hear how this low E string's kind of ringing out over the rest of it? I'm then going to take my index finger off while still anchoring with that ring finger, and I'm going to play the 6th fret of the low E string with my middle finger, and then the 5th fret of the low E string with my index finger, which gives you that sort of evil kind of tone. And you see how this is constant throughout. If you're able to, I'd really like you to anchor this on if you can. And this 5th fret, 6th fret and 5th fret, I'm picking the 6 with a downstroke and I'm picking the 5 with an upstroke. Now can you see there's just this cheeky little 7, again 7th fret of the A string that I've been pressing the whole time. I'm going to play that with an upstroke, and I'm just going to play this before I start the next bar. Pause the video and get this bar under your fingers before we have a look at the next one. That's what it sounds like. If you're feeling fairly confident, let's have a look at the next bit. Oh, what a surprise. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same riff all the way around. So this is in the beginning and it goes straight. Like, I know I didn't sound surprised. I am genuinely surprised. I've done so many riff lessons today. I'm a little bit dazed and confused. You'll have to apologise. You have to forgive me. So we're going to essentially just go round and round and round this riff. Now I've put repeat markers either side. It's up to you how many times you want to go around that. If you're doing your entry for the competition and this is as much as you can muster, by all means, you don't have to get every single nuance of it in to enter the competition. But it's a great picking exercise. So this is at the very top of the PDF, and I just want you to go around this twice for me in the little arrangement that I've done. Moving on, I need to change my amp settings. I'll be right back. Again, we'll go through tones in a second, but just because I know a lot of you are using the Katana, I'm using the Katana today. If I was practicing this at home and you've got the means to do it at home, I'd encourage you to start with a clean tone and then have a drive pedal on the floor so that you don't have to change your settings. But I'm just working with what I've got here. So after the in the song, we've had the we've had that part. Now you have the big sort of... I might save this for a future lesson that I do, but we've got the chuggy bit, and then there's kind of the bit that everybody thinks of, which is this bit here. So that's what I'm going to show you this time. With an in-tune E string, preferably. Now I'm gonna sort of use a little bit more of a kind of calmer tone while I'm showing you, and then we'll turn up the heat again. Right. So can you see the difference between the intro and the main riff? There's not really a lot in it, is there? We're gonna pick the low E string twice, but instead of having this kind of like drone note, we've kind of cut all the chaff out of it and just sort of distilled it down to da 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 da, which is what everybody thinks of. So we've got two open low E strings, which I'm going to play with downstrokes. I'm then going to play the octave here on the 7th fret of the A string with the ring finger, and then I'm going to play the 6 and the 5 with the middle and the index finger like I did last time. But again, when it's quite warm, and if you want to, it's not compulsory, but you get to that 5th fret, give it some quite aggressive vibrato. It sounds good for it. That continues for a 3rd time round the riff. There's nothing new here. 765. Now this bit looks really difficult, but once you kind of get the knack for it, you'll see what I mean. We're going to play a power chord here on the 3rd and the 5th fret of the A and the E string. It's a G5 power chord. I'm then going to play the open string. While I'm playing the open string, I'm going to move my hand down a fret to fret 2 and fret 4. Then I'm going to let it go again. And then I'm going to play it again. And come back on myself. Can you see how we're sort of doing a bit of a pedal turn? 3. If you look at the low E strings, you've got 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, 3, 2. And it should sound like there's an extra 0 on the end, and there is, but that's because you hit the repeat marker and you go back to the very beginning. Yeah? Now, you can put that E5 on the end if you really, really want to. Alternatively, go back to the beginning. So the whole thing, again, I've not got a drive pedal today, so we're going to have to do it old-fashioned way. So you're going to go around the intro twice. Then make it heavy. There's some riffs you come across that are just so satisfying, and that's definitely one of them. It's definitely a party pleaser if you're into that sort of thing. Tones-wise, I'm using the Gibson Les Paul today. I've got 2 settings on my amplifier because I'm sort of trying to make it as accessible for everybody, so I'll put my clean tone on now. I was debating using a little bit of chorus because I know that Hetfield liked to use the jazz chorus, especially in like Nothing Else Matters and those kind of things. And then here's my drive tone that I'm using. Can you see how I've just sort of moved the gain across, taking a little bit of the treble out? Now, I think it's really important to mention when you're going for these guitar tones and you're chasing the sort of Metallica sound, especially early Metallica. Now, I know the Black Album's kind of in the middle, but sort of the Black Album and before, I think as guitarists chasing those tones, we always kind of tend to think that they're far more overdriven than they actually are. A lot of the early kind of thrash sound is Marshall JCM 800 style amplifiers with tube screamers put in front of them. Or that's at least what I'm led to believe. If you know any different, let me know in the comments. But even still at that time in music, they're not... It's distorted, but it's not Meshuggah. It's not really, really, really saturated and really, really heavy. And I think you do well in trying to get this guitar tone to try and sort of be mindful of that. What I'd do if I was at home and I was recording one of the clips for the entries for Riffmas, if you're able to, I'd have a pedal on the floor with the overdriven tone and I'd have my amplifier set clean. That's how I'd personally tackle it. How did you get on with this lesson? Would you like me to do a deep dive of the full song? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you in a couple of days for the next instalment of Riffmas. Thank you very much.